Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Grindavik on the Impossible Dream. Today it is a transfer special as we move from Season 4 into Season 5, looking for a hat-trick of domestic titles, of course, and another good run in Europe. Now, there are some things that we know are happening coming into this, and these are the signings that have been made. Now, we did know that we'd signed a goalkeeper, 25-year-old Icelandic, international technically with a cap, so he'll come in and just be a good, solid goalkeeper for us till we can find sort of the guy that's going to be our guy for the foreseeable future. I mean, it might end up being this guy. Depends how well he trains on. It's looking as though Origi will be coming back in on loan for a second season, so that would be huge because he would be free. So brilliant if we can do that. And the other one, and this is a new one for you, is a new centre back. It is Axel Oscar Andreasen. He's 29. He has 2 caps for Iceland. Now, we saw at the end of last season when we were in Europe, we were just sitting ducks from corners. We need bigger, stronger defenders, and this guy is just that. Jumping reach of 16, strength of 16, heading of 15. Positioning is my slight concern, but everything else about him, certainly at the level we're at, suggests he's going to be a very, very good player. Good leadership as well, so he might even find himself as captain or vice captain. So that is the new guy to you that's coming in. His career to date, you can see he started off at this Alpha Ring, went to Reading. I'm assuming there must be a link up, or there was a link up between those two teams. Spent a little bit of time around the English leagues. Went to Norway, season in Latvia, and has then been playing in Sweden for the last few years, and he has been playing in their top division as well, and not too badly. So I'm hopeful that he'll be a good addition for us. So let's get the rest of this summer underway. You may have seen back here that we have 3.4 million to spend, which I don't think we'll be spending all, if any, of that. Might spend a little bit. Most likely we'll move it into wages, where we have just on 17 grand a week to spend. So there's money there. Let's see what we can do with it.
Skroppum áfram Grindavik og ég veit við magnum gerir dag.
Now, there was a request in the comments to see our coaching staff, or just our staff in general. So you can see here, we very much have the best staff in the league, which you would hope, being the only full-time team in the league. Now, in terms of the coaches, now you can see here we need at least one more coach to get this workload down. That's something I'm going to be asking the board for while we're waiting to get the season back underway. But generally speaking, we've got, coaching is picking up. It's doing quite well. Now, in terms of the actual coaches we have, now you may remember this guy for the first season or two was our backup goalkeeper. We're trying to get him up to pro license, and he's still the best goalkeeping coach that's been available for us. So, for now, he's our man. We've got a fitness coach. Now, this guy is new for this year. Fitness coaches have been very difficult to find good ones, as they tend to be. Ideally, I'd like to get another one in so we can focus on having one guy that will hopefully just be good at strength and just work on that side of the game. Litzen, of course, who was one of our star players for the first few seasons, he's getting his coaching badges as well. He's looking as though he might be quite useful. I think he's got 2 coaching badges to go still. So yeah, he's going to be here long term. He might even end up as my assistant, to be honest. We've got another coach here. Now this guy he's been around for a little while now. He's very solid as well. Yeah, so that's good. He will obviously be improved upon as we go. Now, these are the 2 new guys as well. We've got Jared Harvey in as a, what's he doing? Defending technical. Although he could do attacking technical as well. So yeah, he's new for this year and is a very, very solid guy as well. And the last of the new guys is Mark Cooper. Now, he is here to be an attacking tactical coach, so he's quite good with those attributes. Works well with youngsters as well, which is always a bonus. And I can ask his opinion on players' potential because he's not too bad at that either. So that's our coaching staff for now. Like I say, we need at least one more in that can just come in and just sort of assist everybody to bring the workload down. Ideally, we'll get another goalkeeping coach, another fitness coach as well. But we'll just have to wait for the board to approve that for us. Where is he? I don't understand. He should be here by now. Hope he's okay. Hello? Eric Origi! Mate, where are you? I'm outside the gates. You're still in Leeds? What, did you miss your flight, mate? Oh. So I wouldn't say this is a devastating blow, but it's certainly annoying. Origi has rejected the chance to come back on loan, despite saying he was willing to come back on loan. So He won't be back next year, which is a little bit of a shame. But like I say, we already had somebody in to be the first choice. It maybe just means, I don't know if Morty Mortensen is quite ready to be the backup yet, though he did do well in Europe last year, the last few games when he played. So, yeah, we'll have to think about that one. All right, so we have got ourselves in a backup goalkeeper. Actually wanted to be a backup goalkeeper, which is why I've signed him, because he won't get upset if he's not playing. So £475 a week. He's 28 years old. Let's have a look at him here. He's solid. I don't think he's quite as good as the other new guy that's coming in, but 28 years old. We have a look at his career to date, and well, he's never been outside of Iceland. He's played in the Premiership before, the Pepsi League, I should say. Last year he was relegated with FH, so he played in the second tier, but if we need to use him, he should do a very good job for us, and if we don't, well, then we've got a very good backup on relatively low wages. So I think all in all, that works out well. It's a 2-year deal, at which point, if Morty Mortensen's not ready to be back up, then we've got a problem. All right, we are at February 22nd, which in Iceland is the opening of the transfer window. So our 3 Icelandic players are now with us. Our goalkeeper, Andresen, has officially joined, as has our centre-back, Andresen. I didn't realise that. I don't know if they're brothers. Are they related? They could be. They're only a couple of years apart. Hang on. Let's go on a little bit of a side quest here. They are brothers. I've unintentionally signed brothers. Well, there we go. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. The Andresen brothers will be with us, and we've also got Arneson in as well, our backup goalkeeper. So all looking good there. Now the one thing I did want to show you, see, Ryan Trevitt is available on a free transfer. I don't want to sign him because I don't want to sign any midfielders, because we have so many good young midfielders. I want to make sure that they're getting as much game time as we can possibly give them. It is very tempting. He was brilliant for us, but I just don't want to sign any midfielders, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's that. What I did want to show you, though, is if we go to scouting, we have moved up to to Europe. We've got a budget to scout for Europe. Now, I'm taking the money for this out of the transfer budget. When we can't, there's no player worth £1 million that we're going to want to sign anyway. I'd rather use that money, put it into scouting, to then try and just find as many players as possible. We can then add them to the shortlist if they do become available for transfer or release at some point. We can then go and sign them. So that's what I'm looking to do. Now the window's open, I'm hoping things will move a little bit quicker for us. But yeah, we'll see how we go here. Of course, in sort of continental Europe, the rest of Europe, February, their windows are closed. So yeah, we may or may not be able to get anybody. We might need to wait till right at the end of the window once the European seasons start to end. All right, we have a signing. It is a loan signing of a striker from Bologna, Nicolo Turco. It's a 6-month loan deal, which I didn't actually look at how long the loan deal was. God damn it. Is that going to get us to Europe? 6 months from March is that September, so it's not really long enough, is it? That's annoying. I'll deal with that when it comes to it. We're paying $1,400 of his wages a week, which is absolutely fine. A quick look at him here. He's got that little bit of aerial presence that we wanted, which is good. Composure's not ideal, but finishing is quite good. So yeah, I mean, I've been a little bit annoyed at myself for not picking up on the fact that it's not really a long enough loan. But anyway, I'm still not used to it. I still go on autopilot with the loans and not making sure they're long enough. But anyway, we can see his career to date here. He's not really ever played before, so we'll give him an opportunity and we'll just see how he goes. Well, I just wanted to come back quickly to show you how much of a difference that full-time training is making to some players. Gary Turpinson, for example, look at those green arrows. He could be anything at this stage, and he's still got so much more improvement to do as well. Oh, I'm loving being full-time. Okay, we have another signing in. It's a free transfer. It is Denis Sanchez, a 27-year-old Spanish fullback, and you can see currently a 3.5, potentially a 4-star that player, but at 27, he's probably not going to get that much better, which I'm okay with, to be honest. He's on $1,800 a week as a regular starter. This basically marks the end of Half Porson at the squad. I've already got him transfer listed. He's just not what I want in a fullback, to be honest. He's just not what I want. So we can see there he does have a release fee, which I'm okay with. If we get 160 grand for him, I will be absolutely fine with that. Let's have a look at him. And the main thing here, a model citizen. That is very, very exciting indeed. But he's a good all-round, solid defender, good getting back and going forward as well. The other thing I like about him is that he could, if we need him to, to go and fill in as a left-sided winger. So that he can cover a couple of positions in the squad, which, especially domestically, when we only have 25 players that we can register, that is very, very important indeed. So really, really excited to get him in. And if we look at his career to date, spent last season in La Liga 2, so that's not a bad standard at all. And he spent most of his career sort of around the lower leagues of Spain. So we'll see how he gets on. I'm thinking 2-year deal. Worst case scenario, we've got a very good mentor. All right, now we're about to play the Charity Shield thing at the start of the season. So before that, just a quick update on some transfer activity. We have loaned out 2 guys that don't really have a future with us. Oscarson, who was brilliant, don't get me wrong, but he's gone out to Valor, and KA have got half Posson on loan for the year. There is optional fees for them to buy them, but I think with the wages that we're paying, just loaning out is the best way forward. We did make one sale, and it was for this guy. Now, he was potentially very good. He's a sort of 5-star potential. What I didn't like about him was that he's barely improved through how many years we've been here, how many months? We've been probably 6-8 months being a full-time team now, and he'd barely improved. If anything, he may have even gone backwards a little bit. So I figured, I don't think he's going to develop. He has low determination as well. So we've got 18 grand up front, potentially 30, and I think there's a 50% sell on as well. So if he goes on the beta, I think we'll make some money out of him. But if not, fair enough. Now, we have been playing the League Cup as well. So let's go and see how we got on in that. The first game we played was against Folgno, I think it was. The only goal came in the second half, and it wasn't for Grindavik. So, not a great performance from us. Now, this game took place in the game, it's the 7th of February, so about 2 weeks after the Wolverhampton game. And there's a chance I just underestimated and put out too many youngsters. And I thought it would be enough to get the job done, and it wasn't. We did have a lot of possession, but it wasn't a good performance from us at all. So that was disappointing. The next game to catch you up on in the League Cup was against Vikinger. Happy Yellow found Stephenson to give us the lead. Vikinger pulled level before Turpitson restored our advantage before half-time. And Rocky sealed the points. So much better this one. It was a stronger team that we put out as well, which obviously helps. Vikinger are a better side though, obviously. They're a good top flight side. So very happy to see this return to form. Next up in the League Cup, obviously, it was IBV. So not much to report in terms of highlights. This was actually a really, really good performance from us. It was our new goalkeeper made his first start and did quite well. I mean, we should have won. They had 2 shots, 1 on target. It's one of those games you're almost surprised it didn't go in, but it's actually a decent performance, to be fair. But more drop points, you can't tend to get away with that in the League Cup and get through the group. The next game we have to catch you up on was against Philcare. Happy Yellow found Turco for a debut goal. Andreitson got his first for the club, but Philcare pulled one back. Before Viva showed off his 16 dribbling and made it 3-1. And Ormarkson played in Turco for his second. Before Turco completed his hat-trick. So a debut to remember for Turco with the hat-trick. Andreitson, I think it was his debut as well. And he got a goal as well. So both the brothers have played well now. And really, really good performance, albeit against the second-tier side. The only maybe shame here was that we didn't manage to keep a clean sheet, to be honest. So that left us with 1 game to go against KA. Rocky crossed for Viva to give us the lead. Adel Steinson picked out Rocky's run to make it 2-0 at half-time. Before Huggins' cross found Rocky for our third. So again, we looked really good in this game. Viva and Rocky in wide areas, more or less running the show. Adel Steinson showing what he can do as a ball-playing centre-back for the second goal as well. And there we go, a good solid 3-0 win. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't enough to get us through the group. It was Folgno who beat us in the first game that got there. And, in the end, they went on to win the whole thing. So maybe no shame in it, but obviously a little bit disappointing. But I don't take it that seriously in terms of team selection. I very much am picking a second-string side, or just a side, I suppose. I did take it more seriously after we didn't only won one of the first 3 games, and performances were decent. So I'm okay with that as the League Cup for this season. Now let's go and have a look at what we're doing here in this Charity Shield thing, and we are expecting a 4-3-3 out of we're playing Keflavik, I should say, who are of course our rivals as well. Now, a few things to point out here is that Huggins has picked up an injury, so he is going to miss this one. He is the only one, I believe, that is injured. So the team we're sending out, it is Andreasen in goal, the new man. We've got another new man, or actually the back 4 is all new men. We've got Denny Sanchez, who is already starting to train on, which is excellent. The other Andreasen brother at the back making his first YouTube start, Adel Steinsen, is there, as is now Jonsson. We need a right back. We still need a right back, and because Huggins is injured, this guy comes in. He's good potentially, but not really quite ready yet, I wouldn't have thought. Sayas is going to play as his usual deep-lying playmaker. We've got Turpinson, who is just continuing to develop like... I don't know, just really quickly. We've got Capiello going as the number 10. And then wide areas, Viva, who is starting to kick on a little bit as well. Rocky will be the inside forward over there on the right-hand side. And new man Turco. He will play for the first time on YouTube as well up front. The bench is going to be the other new goalkeeper, Arnson. We've also got here Antonsen, who is not really developing at all, to be honest, which is annoying because he's on $1,000 a week. Collar, the right back. Now, there's a little bit of red in there, but particularly mentally, he is really developing this off-season, which is good. Halkson will be there as a midfield option, as will Ormarkson, who has been injured and is coming back from injury. We've got one of the other youngsters, Paul Desarts. Pordatson, yeah, he's potentially a very good right winger for us, and is the main reason I was willing to let Oskarsson go out on loan, because, you know, he looks like he could be more than capable of filling in where we need to. And Stefansson, who would have thought he would have started a game on the bench by choice? And yeah, well, we'll see if we need him. We'll bring him on, obviously. Okay, so we can see the team sheets there. Now, I don't know if they've signed anybody. I don't pay that much attention to the other teams in the league. But this is a good opportunity for us to be able to go out there and see where we're at, what we need to do still. And it's it is a sort of a more competitive game. I mean, the thing is with the League Cup, I don't know how serious the other teams take it, but like I say, to be fair, I did take it relatively seriously after we only won one of the first 3. But I don't know other teams, how seriously they're taking it, and that's probably the most serious I've taken it yet. We did play the Grindavik Cup with MLS teams coming over again. We only managed 1 draw this time, but again, it was sort of 3 very different teams playing 3 games back to back, and I'm not necessarily that concerned about it. Finances they're okay. We got the TV deal for that again, and it's just some nice football. And Rocky, well, Danny Sanchez on the overlap, he's passed it back to Rocky, and Rocky has found the back of the net, and that is a very promising start for our. It's not quite a new look Grindavik, but certainly a couple of the new faces were involved there with Turco and Sanchez as well. And yeah, it was of course one of last year's new boys, Rocky, Golden Pen winner, of course. And he was there to stick it away and give us a 1-0 lead, nice and early on here. Now, one thing that I have been actively trying to avoid is signing players from other Icelandic teams. We should, as a full-time team, we should be able to win the league quite comfortably this year. Famous last words, I know, but we should. As Andreasen gets his second of the season, and that is 2-0 after 17 minutes. So yeah, what I don't want to do is weaken other Icelandic teams by taking their best players. If it was a player that I thought would come in and be an absolute star for us, then yeah, I probably would, to be honest, because we still need to be able to do well in Europe. But if it's not someone that's going to come in and make us better in Europe, then I'm not going to sign anybody from other Icelandic teams. I think it's going to actually develop. That's not the best defending we'll see, and it's suddenly 2-1. I think this series is going to develop a little bit like the Bala Town one did, if you watch that series, where we end up just kind of trying to prop up the rest of the league as well. We sort of all get stronger together at a certain point. We need the rest of the league to do well in Europe to be able to ourselves, be able to get into group stages more easily and things like that. So yeah, that's sort of the way I think it's going to go. So I'm sort of starting that a little bit earlier this time, and not so. I mean, to be honest, there's one or two players that might have go over the top that might, I would have considered otherwise. But yeah, I've sort of made that decision that we're not going to do that. Most part, obviously, there's exceptions to the rule, but yeah, that's certainly the plan at this point. And the thing is, too, if we sign a player from another Icelandic team, it doesn't actually help us. We have a 25-man squad. What do we want to say? Don't get complacent. We have a 25-man squad that we can register for the league total. Like, there's no sort of allowances for academy players or anything. But of those 25 men, 8 of them have to be academy players, basically, have come through your club. So if we sign, it's another headed goal, this time for Sayas, and it is 3-1, and hopefully this time we'll look after the 2-goal lead. But yeah, if we sign a player for another Icelandic team, it doesn't. We could sign a player from any other EU country in the world, and they would count the same towards the allowances that we have for players. So we're better off, just signing from elsewhere in Europe and letting the Icelandic players, clubs keep their players and maybe do a little bit better in Europe as well. All right, we're going to take Capiello off for Allmarkson here, and in a little bit we might even look to bring on that young right wing up. And Viva's got a booking, so we'll do that now. And do we want to make another change? I'm kind of okay with what we've got, though it might be a good development opportunity. Okay, we'll take Turpinson off and we'll get Halkson on for... No, you know what we might do? We'll take Adel Steinson off, we'll bring Antonsen on, and we'll see how Antonsen gets on playing next to this guy, because they're sort of two of our bigger guys. The issue we have with Andreasen and Monti are both left-footed, so ideally they can't. We won't play them together. But if we get to a point where we need to do that, then we will. As Rocky goes on a little bit of a mazy run, it's cleared up field. Antonsen is there, and we go again. Jonsson, the two kids linking up for Rocky, and the goalkeeper has made a decent save there. Let's praise Turpinson to take the corner. And let's see if we can get another goal from a corner here. No, that one is over the top. But with 10 minutes to play here, it's 3-1. And really, the most disappointing thing is that we conceded as Turpinson gets his foot on the ball. Seeing Turpinson develop the way he has is a good news, because we know that Allmarkson and, is it Poddartson, the more defensively minded midfielder, Rocky has pounced on a bit of a mistake there. Rocky tried to sort of pass it into the net in the end, and the goalkeeper got to it. Oh, and it's going to be a mistake at the other end, and thankfully we get away with that. But yeah, the fact that Turpinson is developing the way he is means that we should see similar things from at least Allmarkson as well. So that's obviously good news. And here we go. We have won this cup thing. We did win it the first year when we were cup winners, and that was the year we got promoted, of course. And we absolutely smacked someone in that. I think it might have even been Viking up. We went on, of course, that year to win the league first year up. Last year, of course, we lost this. And so for the first year in a few, the league champions are going to lift the Maestra Kapani Kala. And there it is. One trophy already in the bag for Grindavik. Now, of course, we didn't win the League Cup, so we can't talk clean sweep. Maybe one season. So there we go. We lift the that cup thing. We need to give it an official renaming, don't we? Sanchez has made his debut. It was, because he would have signed after the other thing was done, wouldn't it? Superb in front of goal. Let's go with that for our big centre-back. And we've still got about 2 weeks in game before the season starts. So we'll see if we can get... We've got one squad place left, which is ideally bookmarked for a right-back. Let's hope we can get at least that. We have breaking news out of Iceland this evening, where Grindavik have broken the Icelandic transfer record for the signing of a right-back. For more, we cross live to local reporter Hogan Chadson. Yeah, Luke Matheson will join Grindavik for huge, ridiculous fee of £12.5 thousand. The game is gone. It's just stupid, reckless spending. All right, so there we go. It is a record transfer, £12,500, and it's Luke Matheson, a right back. Now, I remember this guy as a kid, I think, playing for Rochdale in the FA Cup. I want to say against Manchester United. I think he ended up moving to Wolves in real life. We'll have a look in a second anyway. But obviously, he has not developed as he would have hoped, or looked like he was going to do at that point. So he's 24 now. Let's have a quick look at him. And actually, we'll have a look at his contract first. £825 a week as a squad player. And he comes in basically to try and be this right back I've been trying to find. Now, he can play on either side, but he's right-footed, so primarily we look to use him as a right back. The issue, obviously, is its jumping reach, its strength. He doesn't quite meet that criteria, but otherwise, he's not a bad attacking fullback, you know, so I think he will do good for us. If we go and, oh, we've got Ellie, do we? Hi, Eloise. If we go and have a look at his career to date, well, we can see there, I do remember it correctly, he moved £1 million he went for, and here he is here now. Well, he's been all over the shop, hasn't he? So yeah, there we go. That is our new right back. Hopefully, he'll be a success and he'll share that role with Huggins. And if I can get somebody else in, I will. I mean, £825 a week, where we're at right now. An English player we can probably sell as well. I don't think that's the end of the world. Okay, we are at game day, the start of our Premier League, or Pepsi League, sorry, defence. And let's start and have a look at the team we have to start the season off. Now, there is still about a week or so to go in the transfer window, so we still have some time to do some things. But if we look at our goalkeeping options, we've got Andreitsen, one of the new signings. We've also got another of the new signings, Arneson, and then Morty Mortensen, who is sort of the young guy we'll give games to where we can. You can see he is starting to develop in the right way now. So those, and we've got a couple of youngsters in the under-19s as well. Left backs, Denny Sanchez is the first choice. Hopefully, he's going to do a good job for us. Collar is the second choice. He is developing well over the off-season, so let's hope that continues through the regular season. Other options that can play here, Huggins and Matheson as well. We'll have a look at them in just a second. Centre-backs, I've sort of lumped them all into here. So Antonsen, who is in there as a star player, is just not developing. I'm not quite sure what's wrong with him. We've got Andreasen, one of the new boys, one of the brothers, of course. We've got Adel Steinson, who is just solid, and Monte as well, who is aging. I think is probably the nice way to say that. Might look when the English window opens, because he is part English, we might look to move him on. We've got Triggy Magnuson as well. He is still learning to become a centre back. He is getting there. Technically, though, he's a little bit of a disaster, and we're not going to give up on him yet. He's only 20, but we do need to see a little bit more from him, I think. And there's a couple of others here that are going to be registered in the squad just because they're club trained, but I don't know how much we'll see of them. Over to right back, and Matheson, you can notice he is injured. He is going to miss the first game of the season, but we'll see what we get from him. And of course, the other main man is Huggins. And then if we certain games anyway, we've got Johansson, who is club trained. I don't know if he's actually registered as club trained yet. He is, so he should be registered in the squad. It is not, even if he's not one of the 8 that we actually register. The more defensive, more lying midfielders, we have 2 main guys for this one. It is Sayas, who is just, I think, a god at that position at this level. And then Poddartson as well, who's one of the youngsters. Ideally, his jumping reach will improve a little bit, but there's a little bit of growing room for him yet as well. Then there is a couple of other youngsters that will play back here, if anywhere. So I'll show you them now. We've got Gudmundsson, we've got Djokovic, who has a lot of potential, and there's also Brim, who again has a lot of potential, but I'm not quite sure. This unambitious, I don't know. Mentalities or personalities might be what hold them back. If we move forward into sort of a more central midfield role, Halkson is still around as an option. Turpitson is just training the house down and is probably first choice at this point in that position. Odin Bagley is registered for the squad this season. Again, physically, these guys, he's only 17, but that's the big weakness. Allmarkson, who can play as a little bit more of a creative attacking midfielder as well. And then Capiello, we know as well, who will play as the advanced playmaker in a more advanced role. And the other one is Carrison, I'm tempted to loan him out. The issue with loaning him out is that he's not going to be training full-time, so I've got to have a think about what we do with Carrison. Over on the left-hand side of midfield, Rocky will be our main man over here. He just played well there last year as an inside forward, so there's no need to change that. Denny Sanchez, one of the main reasons I signed him is because he can push forward to play as a winger if we need him to. And Logie Goodnason is training on okay. Again, there's obviously a lot of flaws in his game, but there's a little bit of development to be had there, so we'll see how he goes. And then there's a couple of others that could fill in. And then Christensen, who, again, has a lot of potential, but is not quite putting that through to actually in training right now. But again, mentally, a bit of a disaster. Over on the right-hand side, Kike Viva is the main man there. He is absolute quality. And Rocky can play over there. And then a youngster that I sort of pointed out earlier on, if we need him, he can play there. Now, is he going to be registered? He's not going to be registered just yet, I don't think. Hopefully, he will be soon. And then striking options, Stefansson. And he's got a little bit of competition this season because Turco has come in. He's training well. He's developing well. And he's looking very nice up front. So it might be, despite scoring 31 goals last season, that Stefansson isn't first choice this year. So that is something. And then this guy is one of the youngsters that we haven't really seen yet. We brought him off the bench a couple of times, and we'll just see again how he develops. He's only 16, so plenty of time for him. But there we go. Let me know what you think of the summer so far. Winter, I suppose. We still got plenty of money to spend, plenty of money in the wage budget and the scouting budget, and 4.4 million in the bank. I haven't asked to upgrade any training facilities yet. I will do that if and when our next European run is done, and we should get more information about our European campaign shortly, because we're coming up to the end of mid-May, which is when the finals are typically played. So I'll see you next time. It'll be the start of the season. We will get things underway. Look at that. It's just been an endless pre-season. I will see you for, we've got Leichner and FH who have been re-promoted into the league. That's how we'll start things off. So until then, I've been Aussie Villain. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.